generation, I was waiting to shine. My father taught me don't be soft, so now I'm taking what's mine. I define myself as ambitious, young, black, and gifted. Master P, my masterpiece, that mean I don't got no limits. Bout it, I doubt it. My homies know you ain't ratted. We break you down like a pound. I got it, don't pound to surround me. I'm corrupted, flow cold and it's rugged, bumpy. What is up? I'm ready for war. You got to love it like black, yeah. And it feel like, yeah. All day like, yeah. All night like, yeah. Whole squad like, what? And it feel like, yeah. All day like, yeah. All night like, what? Whole squad like, yeah. And it feel like, yeah. All day like, yeah. All night like, yeah. Whole squad like, yeah. And it feel like, yeah. All day like, yeah. All night like, yeah. You don't want problems. You don't want smoke, no. You don't want problems. Yeah, you don't want problems. You don't want smoke, dog. You don't want problems. Yeah, you don't want problems. You don't want smoke, dog. You don't want problems. No, I say you don't want problems. You don't want smoke, dog. You don't want.
Coach, thank you much. EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the City of Angels, Los Angeles, California. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the San Francisco 49ers and the Los Angeles Rams. A couple of 2-1 teams set to square off, and we're underway here in NFL Week 4. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll wind up getting an extra couple yards here for his trouble as he'll bring this one out to the 27. Now the Georgia Southern man, it's Matt Breida. He'll wind up getting a yard on the game's first play at second down.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, this big defensive lineman will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
On second and 9, Trubisky. He'll get this complete to Cooper Kupp. 19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
At the 49-yard line.
The first down run got 5. Here's second and 5.
18.
Here's Trubisky. Completes it to the tight end, Kittle. And this is going to be another first down as the tackle's going to be made at the Rams' 21.
You know I'm going to lean towards the defender, right? You know I'm going to do that.
I know.
That's a tough situation for him as I see it. But the truth of the matter is, that ball was not streaking towards him. Had a little arc on it. He's got to find a way to get his head around and make a play on the football.
Now Trubisky on first down. They'll set up a screen for Breida. He's got the first down inside the 10. And he's going to take it in. Touchdown, San Francisco. Matt Breida, his second touchdown on the season. And the 49ers drive right down the field and score on the opening drive. Gold able to tack on the extra point, and that makes the score 7-0. After the touchdown, it's Robbie Gould now to kick it away. This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. Goff will lead the Rams up here 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. Now the first carry here for Todd Gurley. And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there. There to stop him was Darius Leonard.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7.
You better be afraid of me. Shoot! Fresno. 12. Super 66.
Goff now to throw. And he whips that one incomplete there. Charles, already trailing by touchdown early. This offense, how imperative is it for them to get points out of this drive?
Well, they feel like they have to go ahead and match because of what was already on the board against their defense. But I think even more so, you just want to avoid 3 and outs. You want to be able to stay on the field for a little while, let your defense catch their breath a little bit, even if you don't score any points.
They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on 2nd down.
57's Mike. Coming. 57's the Mike. Watch 57.
From the gun, here's Goff. This is caught. It's Cooks. And they've got it well across midfield down to the 40 before it's all said and done. Give them 32 on the play.
I know we love our jobs, and pretty much any play we see, we're pretty, excited about. But big plays, let's face it, that's what we absolutely live for. How about that one?
That was great. And what our camera missed was the fist pumps from the sideline after that catch. They're fired out. That's a big gain. So the big play moves him all the way across midfield to the 40 now for 1st and 10. Gurley with a little bit of an opening there as he's able to get 5 on 1st down. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
All right, Brandon, I know we're in the early going here, but those kind of runs, they're going to open up a world of opportunities for this offense going forward.
After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5.
Hey, we got to get to the ball, team. We got to get to the ball. Let's keep moving.
Here's Goff. And nearly an interception here on their opening drive. But instead, 3rd down.
Pretty nice coverage there, but a missed opportunity for an interception. Let's face it, a lot of these defenders, they've got it all. Speed, athleticism, hands, a little bit questionable.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down.
Mike 57. 5.
Out of the gun, Goff. And that will be incomplete. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning, hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed, if there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces 4th down. And this is off target to the left. Didn't get there anyway. It's no good. And this score will stay right where it is.
NFL kickers nowadays, they make things look so easy because normally from this range, about 2 out of 3. And this is not an easy kick.
Yeah, 20 years ago, you get where he was in that 50 range, maybe a little over. And it's a big kick, but now if they leave it short, you're like, whoa, what happened? And that's what we have here.
Yeah, you're right. 20 years ago, we were saying run some more plays and get closer. Now we think they're definitely within range, and you're exactly right. When it comes up short, there has to be something that went wrong because they had plenty of leg.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. They go play action with Trubisky. Man open, that's Deebo Samuel. And he's going to get this down to the 35-yard line. A gain there of 21 yards.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and get the quarterback a really nice target.
31 yards there and a first down.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of their yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another first down with that run.
Two big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal. They'll try to run with Breida. And across the goal line, into the end zone, touchdown 49ers. Matt Breida, his 2nd touchdown of the game, his 3rd on the year. And the Niners are able to stretch their lead. He's showing the different ways he can hit you in this first quarter. 1 rushing, 1 receiving touchdown.
He's showing us he's not just a stereotype, isn't he? Not just a guy who carries the ball out of the backfield, can get out into space, make plays with his hands downfield. That's a pretty good combination right there.
Defensively, you'd prefer to be going against the stereotype, wouldn't you?
At least you know where he is, right? That gives you a chance to get more people to him and get him on the ground.
The L.A. offense ready to go for their next drive. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points get that 0 off the board. The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26. A shotgun snap for Goff. He gets it to Cooks. And they work this well upfield across the 45. 22 yards there, a first down.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs, as we just saw there.
Bravo!
Now Goff on first down. Quick hitter here, it's complete. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice game.
Louis. 180. Watch a slant. Switch. 2 for 1. Hey, Echo.
To throw again on 2nd down. Goff. And this is going to wind up incomplete. The coverage there too strong on the deep ball, and now they face a 3rd down.
And it is true. You can draft the fastest. You can draft the most athletic guys. But if they don't know the art of positioning, sometimes it's all for naught. In this case, in the right spot, help force the incompletion.
Yeah, but had his hands on it for a second. Would have been a tough catch, though. Falls incomplete. Into the hands of the tight end. This is Jordan Thomas. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or 2 shy of the 30. 16 yards is the pickup there, and a first down for L.A. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Goff going to hand it to Gurley. Heck of a broken tackle and able to work this down near the 23. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3. So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3. Goff turns and gives to Gurley. He'll have a first down inside the 10. And he's going to take this one in for a Rams touchdown. Todd Gurley, his second touchdown on the season, as they are now on the board here in the first half. The extra point up and good, and that'll make our score 14-7. This game back within a touchdown now as the kickoff's away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. And right now they're saying, hey, let's keep this going. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, can't ask for a better start than that, can you? I mean, this is the way you practice it. This is the way you rehearse it. But right now, the play calling, they're locked in really well.
18 yards, first down Niners.
Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense, because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. Right back to Coleman here on first down. And give him about 5 as he gets this up to the 48-yard line.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Play action. Now Trubisky. Trying to find Kupp, but it's intercepted. Picked off at about the 31. And he'll take it across midfield to the 46-yard line. Well, this was a 14-0 game not too long ago. Things were looking pretty good. Then you give up the touchdown on the last drive. Now the interception.
So that's a lesson in trying to stay vigilant, isn't it? You have to stay on top of things. Can't relax too much because, as you noted, things change. Now they've got to go out there and get a spark going again and try and slow down this comeback.
A nice run there by Gurley on first down as he'll get about 7 out of it. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
It's a gain of 7. Brings up 2nd and 3.
Hey, Charlie.
At the 39-yard line.
Let's get it. 57 to Mike. 57 to Mike. Watch the run. They're running it. 57. Mike, 57. Check pass, check pass.
From the 39, Goff. Looking for Johnson, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the safety, Jarquiski Tart. And the return here is stopped at the 35-yard line. Johnson was the intended receiver.
And, Brandon, this is a real nice job defensively of getting inside a quarterback's head and figuring out, okay, where's he going with the football? Because you can make an educated guess defensively, not all the time, but sometimes. And when you're right, you've got a decent chance of coming away with the football.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Complete out to Samuel on the quick throw. The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down.
The goal of a wide receiver screen is get enough blockers in front to create a wall and let him pick his spot to run the football. How about the defense there, swarming to it and not allowing that to happen? Did not let him get downfield.
From the 38, Trubisky. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, as it turned out. Couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It's way too tight. Unable to find anyone open.
They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on 2nd down. From the gun, it's Trubisky. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Aaron Donald, he's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year.
2 sacks last week, another one right here. He's been unblockable lately, and I think that goes all the way back to not just his offseason, with the film study he's been doing during the week, because I think he's found matchups that he likes, and he's capitalizing.
And a few times he's even defeated double teams. He doesn't care at this point. 44-yard punt, return of 9. And the Rams will go on offense here with a 1st and 10. The LA offense ready to go for their next drive. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious, because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. Just a yard on the 1st down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
And this is why aggressive defensive coordinators love to blitz. It wreaks havoc because they end up taking their attention to the blitzers, freed up the D lineman to make the play.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run.
Hey, exit.
Here's Goff. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Great job defensively. I think he was trying to go through his progressions, find someone to get rid of the football. Before he knew it, he was on his back.
So that just brings us right back to what you said in the beginning. A great job defensively. Nowhere to go with the football. That led to the sack.
So Goff, he'll try to refocus after the sack. The Rams now set up with a tough one, a 3rd and long.
Hold on. Check. Smooth. Check Mike 57. Mike 57. Time to go. Night. 57 to Mike.
We've hit the 2-minute mark of the 2nd quarter. 14-7. The Rams going to go ahead and use the first of their timeouts. So as they take it over, we step aside. And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from games in progress, as well as scores from earlier today.
The coach.
Sorry, we get slap happy up here sometimes. 3rd and long. It's gone. He's letting it fly for Cooks, and that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag. No,
I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. This will be taken at the 10. Well, he wasn't too far from breaking that. Officially, give him 15. And the Niners will go on offense, 1st and 10. The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you've called before, realize it hasn't worked
Go to
so
something
well,
else.
and maybe you try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. Now Trubisky to throw. Over the middle, complete. It's Bowman. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 13 yards there and a Niner first.
I got a kick out of that one, partner. You and I talk often about trying to hide receivers in certain situations, but a guy of his size, can't really hide him. But the tight end drag route, definitely an effective way to sneak him across the formation for an easy completion and a 1st down.
Give him 3 on 1st down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
This is Coleman with a grab. And he's got this down to the 35. The 49ers now going to use the first of their timeouts as the clock stops here with 46 seconds remaining in the first half. Trubisky now hitting on 80% of his passes in the early going. 8 of 10. It's first down. They'll run with Coleman on first down. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. 15 for the Niners there and a first down.
We both know it's difficult, but they've made it look effortless out there. Through the air, on the ground, they've moved the ball with relative ease.
Coleman. And he'll get this one down to about the 17. Now San Francisco going to call their second timeout as they'll stop it with 13 seconds to play in half number 1. The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8.
Big stop, G. Big stop.
Now Trubisky. And it's complete. In the end zone. Touchdown 49ers. Cooper Kupp in the final seconds of the first half. And the Niners are able to stretch their lead.
That's one of the better examples of clock management I've seen. Whittled it all the way down just about and still put the ball in the end zone.
Yeah, just a methodical drive and something really to take into the lockers here. After the touchdown, it's Robbie Gould now to kick it away. The LA offense ready to go for their next drive. Time here for likely one play, then off to the locker room, and they're going to have some adjustments to make.
They certainly will, and I think a lot of people are thinking to themselves, all right, take the knee, get out of here, regroup. But how will the head coach and his staff approach halftime? Will it be angry? Will it be clinical? Will they be calm? Will they just let it all out? Who knows? I'd love to be a fly on the wall for this one, though.
Hey, 5. He's crashing.
The final shot before break here. Goff. Johnson's got it complete. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. So we have come to halftime in what's already a 2-touchdown game. As we'll send you back over to Orlando with our EA Sports Halftime Report, here's Jonathan Coachman. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. The LA offense ready to go for their next drive. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there. But this is I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the second half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for them. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Now it's gone. And this one complete to Smith. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication, and as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Getting the sack, the 227-pound linebacker, Quan Alexander.
So one quick, easy analysis about why they've struggled so far. They keep putting themselves in third and long situations. They just took another sack right there.
Now, the offensive film session tomorrow may be a little longer than it normally is.
Not a lot of positive grades will be handed out thus far.
57. Exit, exit. 57's the mic. 57's the mic. Check.
From the gun on third down, gone. He's going to float this over the middle deep and almost picked off. I guess the good news for them now, it's fourth down.
And we're into the second half now, and this is an offense that continues to struggle to sustain a drive.
Looks like they're just totally out of sync, whether they're running the ball, passing the ball like we saw there. I don't know. The rhythm seems off. And problems spreading to the punt team now. This one goes all the way into the end zone on the fly, so that'll come back to the 20. The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. They have the lead here. Well, we talk a lot about pregame speeches. What are halftime speeches like?
For the most part, not nearly as emotional. They're a lot more clinical. Every now and then, though, they'll get after you if they think they need to light a fire. But in this case, let's go into the virtual locker room, because here's what I think happened. They got in there and they said, listen, let's take control right away.
Yeah,
defense,
we
got the lead. Defense, don't give up any points. Turn the ball back over to the offense and let them go down and score and give us more of a cushion in the game. Check so far. Defense shut them down. Let's see if the offense gets done.
They'll come up 2nd and 6 now from the 24.
Let's go one more. Check.
They run again with Breida. Oh, he's got some breathing room. A big seam, and he might go all the way. Touchdown, 49ers. Matt Breida, 76 yards. And the Niners are able to stretch their lead. Still plenty of time left in the game, but now starting to pull away a little bit, get some breathing room with that one.
And I don't want people to think that NFL locker rooms are cookie cutter, that everyone's saying the exact same thing in every situation. But I do know that all 32 teams have an emphasis on starting fast. Game, the second half, no matter what, whether it's first 5 minutes, first 3, whatever, this was a big score to start the second half.
After the touchdown, it's Robbie Gould now to kick it away. This is fielded at the goal line. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. The LA offense ready to go for their next drive. They trail here by 24 points. Got to get going soon, you'd have to think, as they come up 1st and 10. On 1st and 10, Goff. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's 2nd down. We saw this a lot in the first half, and it continues. These receivers just not able to get much separation.
So that means they have to win the 50-50 balls. They've got to go up with the defender and find a way to start coming down with them.
And this time, contact and another incomplete pass. So now they'll come up on 2nd and 10, once again from the 28. Goff now looks to throw, and they'll set up the screen to Gurley. And he takes it all the way down to the 28-yard line. A huge play there on the screen pass. 44 yards. So now then, the big play has him all the way inside the 30 now, 1st and 10.
12.
Gone. And the catch made by Johnson. A good pickup there, 26 yards.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he? And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Los Angeles. Todd Gurley. His second touchdown of the game, his third on the year. And the Rams are able to cut into this lead. The extra point up and good. And that cuts the lead to 28-14. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. They are just putting things together so well here, drive after drive. They really have captured the momentum, haven't they?
They've taken momentum and pretty much not just give him a jersey, but a seat on the bench as well. Whatever do you need, you've got it, because the way they're stringing things together and creating that distance between them and their opponent is really hard to narrow that gap. And the other part is they're taking their spirit away from them too.
Yeah, now they're just looking to add to that total. Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10. On 2nd down, it's Coleman. He'll have a first down past the 40. And he'll finally be taken down just shy of midfield. That one covers 24 yards. It's a first down.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point. Going to make that defense stand up and stop them.
Come on. Quick dad.
On first down, here's Breida. He's got the first down and more inside the 40. All told, it's an even 30 and a first down.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral. Also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
So the big play gets him all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. From the gun, it's a handoff to Coleman. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. It'll be a loss of 1, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 11.
At the Rams' 22-yard line.
On 2nd down, a run with Breida. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. Officially, it will go as a 1-yard loss, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down. This will probably be the last play of the quarter. And that is going to do it for this 3rd quarter of action. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. The last 2 plays, each lose a yard. They'll try to move forward here on 3rd and 12. Throwing here, Trubisky. And across the chalk into the end zone. It's a 49er touchdown. 3 touchdown passes now for Mitchell Trubisky. And the Niners are able to stretch their lead. They were still throwing with a comfortable lead here late, and now that lead even more comfortable.
And your first thought is there bad blood that went into this one ahead of time, that maybe they're seeking some revenge or they just don't like them? But the other thing that always hits me is, are they worried about playoff positioning? Right? Are they worried about, do you need enough points in case there's a tiebreaker that comes into play later?
The Rams take over first and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The L.A. offense ready to go for their next drive. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
So they decline it, and they choose to not give him that down back.
And I think that's the key to everything there. They didn't give up any yardage even on the completed pass. Don't give them an extra down in order to try and pick up a first.
Like 20. No gain on this defense, no gain. 57's Mike. Mike 57. Listen. Hey, Haywood. 57.
Here's Goff now on second down. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's third down. Well, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen, despite the amount of pressure he's been under this entire game.
An incomplete pass on second down. It muddles things a little bit here. This is 3rd and 10.
Hey, Foxtrot. Check Mike 57. All day, baby, all day. 57.
Now gone. And that's complete to Cooks. Brandon Cooks past the 20. Touchdown, LA. Brandon Cooks, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Rams are able to draw a bit closer.
As a fan, is there anything prettier than a well-executed post route?
No, it's a thing of beauty, especially when it's done like that for a touchdown.
The throw, the catch, and how about the run after to get it to the end zone?
This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. Now, there are 2 scores on the plus side. Still time here in this 4th quarter, but maybe now Breida loses it. And now the Rams have got it, going the other way. And they'll have the ball set up in the red zone at the 16-yard line.
Partner, that would look like it was over. I mean, they had control, had the football, and the defense had to make a play in order to keep them in the game. That's exactly what they did.
And now that door ajar, 2-score game, so hold on here, not done in the 4th. On first down, it's Gurley. And they'll lose yardage here, knocked back to the 19-yard line. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on first down. So now they have to contend with 2nd and 13 after the first down run goes backwards.
Hey, Alpha.
Goff now to throw. And his throw is incomplete. The veteran Rasul Douglas able to break that one up.
There are a good number of coaches at any time they call an in route are really worried about the play because there's so much traffic ordinarily that the ball has to get through to get to the receiver. And on that play, it was batted down.
The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long.
Go. 57. Get him. 57's the mic. 57's the mic. It's our field. Value three. Hey,
from the gun, here's Goff. And it's complete. He's got it in the end zone. Touchdown, Rams. From 19 yards away, as his guys are back within a single score. Extra point splits the uprights, and now things get a bit more interesting here in this fourth quarter. This game back within a touchdown now as the kickoff's away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line.
Get ready. Get ready.
The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. Now, Charles, of course, you got to remember, last possession they fumbled. It led to a touchdown. One-score game here. Got to be careful.
And this is where coaching and training really comes into play, doesn't it? What does everyone say after an error? Next play, move on, next drive. That mantra has to come to the front. They've got to take care of business right here and act like the last series just didn't happen.
And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage.
Orbit. Watch Mike. Watch the pass. Alert. Hey, Mike 52. You must. Hey, seam 6. 52, Mike 52. Get in the weight room. Mike 52.
Here's Breida. And he'll get 4 here down to the 35-yard line. And I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely, you want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
Switch it. Kill. Turn up. Kill. Turn up.
From the 35 on 2nd down, Trubisky. They'll set up a screen for Breida. A gain of 32 that time. Offense just continues to reign supreme. Big plays, both sides, back and forth. Tough to keep track of.
It certainly is, and I'm over here just marveling at what I'm seeing. It's tough for you, though. You've got to call all these big plays and have all this emotion each time they go at each other.
So 1st and goal, 6 points here would go a long way toward wrapping this one up. They'll try to run this one in. And the D not yielding much there. He's only going to get a yard to about the 2.
This is where coaches have to have spent a lot of time going over situations with their players, because him getting tackled there is not the worst thing in the world. You're going to run more plays, right? Clock's going to go. But his thought process is getting into the end zone. It's counterintuitive for him to actually go down in this spot.
Yeah, but like you say, you don't want to get in the end zone too early here.
No, not at all, because you may leave an opening that could come back and get you.
Now we give with a big fullback use check. And he'll take this into the end zone for a San Francisco touchdown. Kyle Juszczyk, his 2nd touchdown on the season. Where the Niners are able to stretch their lead. Gold with the extra point, and the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. After the touchdown, it's Robbie Gould now to kick it away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The LA offense ready to go for their next drive. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
He's letting it fly for Cooks and almost intercepted. It would have been his 2nd pick of the game. Instead, it'll be 2nd down.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, 4th quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25.
Chance. Rush in. Cornell. Merlin. Bravo.
Here's Goff. It's caught left side by Cooks. And he'll be brought down. Oh, that's a face mask. Certainly looked like it. Indeed, here come the flags. So the face mask, quite a blessing there as they'll start out of harm's way with a 1st and 10.
Here we go, fellas. Here we go.
Out of the gun. Goff. He gets it to Cooks. And he's brought down, but not before he reaches the 8-yard line. 36 yards on the play. What a game it's been for this duo.
They remind me of a good comedy team. They know how to play off of each other so well. No matter how one riffs, the other's right there to pick them up, and they are shredding them in this ball game.
The chain gang hustling to catch up. Here's 1st and goal from just inside the 10. A shotgun snap for Goff. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete. He couldn't get the hook up there that time with Thomas, but it'll be 2nd and goal.
When you got your backs in the shadow of your goal line, you've got to be physical in that situation because there's not a whole lot of space, not a lot of wild plays that can be run there.
That's put up or shut up time. Defensively, nice job just to make sure they didn't complete it on that play. Now on 2nd down, this is Gurley. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a 3rd down.
Partner, I know we're in a goal-to-go situation, but my goodness, think about running the ball here, not even a thought, is it?
Defensively, they're in a prime spot.
And I think the defensive guys are probably expressing themselves to them as well. I wouldn't run it here, guys. You might want to try throwing it.
Value 1.
2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So it's Rams football here as we get you reset. They've got it 3rd and goal now as they try to punch in a late touchdown.
17. Hey, Echo.
To throw is gone. And this is caught now for a late touchdown. So hold everything here. This one's not over yet. Still an important piece of business to take care of, the extra point. And that'll cut the lead down now to a touchdown. This game back within a touchdown now as the kickoff's away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. And this game not quite over yet. And we'll likely see them take all 3 timeouts defensively, so they can't just kneel this one out. They're going to have to try to run a few. Defenders giving chase, but I don't think they're going to get there. Touchdown, 49ers. Matt Breida, 75 yards. And the Niners are able to stretch their lead. Not a whole lot to recap on that drive. Just one play, 75 yards to the house.
Yeah, it's a long way to go. And remember, rarely is it a straight line 75 yards, too. Got to have a little extra in there. So whatever the final number is, a well-deserved seat on the bench, a little oxygen if he wants it as well.
After the touchdown, it's Robbie Gould now to kick it away.
Let's go, boys. Bring it up.
The LA offense ready to go for their next drive. And that recipe on their last drive that resulted in a touchdown looked pretty good, so they'll be hoping to do that once more.
And it takes me back to when we sat with the offensive coordinator and the head coach. They felt pretty good about their game plan and thought there were some holes in the defense, and they exploited them the last time out. Let's see if they can come back and put together a similar drive.
And we'll see if they can do just that. Looking for more there on first down, but this throw downfield, incomplete. Brandon Cooks, the receiver he was going after, but it's going to be second down. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25.
Hey, 76! 76! 76! 50, hey, exit! 57 to Mike. It's our time. This is our time, guys. It's our time. 57. Mike, 57. I got you.
Now gone. Buying time to his left. And the pressure will get to him. He goes down. Now there is a flag on the play, but this looks like holding on the offense. So following the holding call, what can they do here on 3rd and long?
57 to Mike. 57 to Mike. I got you, boy. I got you, boy. Mike's 57. 57's Mike. You remember me? You remember me? Let's go, baby. 57's the Mike. Watch 57.
Back to throw. Gone. Now in desperation. And this is intercepted. And that should do it. Picked up by DJ Reed. And his guys are going to take over at their own 48-yard line.
At their own 48-yard line.
The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. And a few kneel downs should just about do it. Now, defensively, they do have all 3 timeouts, but very little reason to use them at this point. Now a run on first down is not going to get off the ground as they will get him behind the line of scrimmage for a loss of 3. On this day, the ground has been his, but at least on that individual play, we just saw the defense finally with a win.
Yeah, they finally got one, and that's a win for them, but all game long, he's seen the holes, and they've been huge for him. Kind of like a baseball hitter in the zone. The ball seems bigger, and he's just whacking it. These guys, they've got it going today.
A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13. They'll run here with Coleman out of the gun. Just a yard there, so it brings up a tough 3rd and 12. Now the Rams will signal for a timeout, their 2nd, as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down. On 3rd down, a run from Breida. And they're well past midfield, just a yard or 2 shy of the 40. He'll get a dozen there, and it's a first down, 49ers.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
Check, check. Lucky, lucky, lucky.
Once again, they run with Breida on first down. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 3. Charles, why didn't they just take the knee there?
You're asking the question that I'm asking as well, because we've seen a lot of football where coaches decide maybe they get a little greedy. I don't know if they're doing it for stats or for what reason. We've seen it happen in college. And how about in the NFL? The miracle of the Meadowlands. All they had to do was take a knee and the game was over. The Giants ran it one more time. Ball popped free. Philadelphia picks it up and wins the game.
What year was that?
1978. I think it was in November.
Breida, he'll try the right side. And he gets it down to the 32. 4 yards the pickup, first down.
He was brought down by Marcus Peters.
Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feeling like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for the Niners, they're on a nice early roll as they move to 3-1 with a win here. And they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for L.A., they'll fall back to 500 at 2-2. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. That'll do it for us. I'm Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis.